Maybe we should go down the list one at a time and see how quickly we can make these appointments. Is there a suggested improved way to handle this? If not, let's just start at the top and go down the list.
Well, the issue with that, Mayor Baldwin, is that if you accept something up top, it may lock you into something down below.
Why? Explain. I don't understand.
That if, for example, we accept the idea that I serve on, that I'm going to serve on Chamber of Commerce, does that mean that my quota of assignments is going to be filled up before we discuss some other things?
No, I personally don't believe in any quota of assignments. You can have 8 assignments, and because and I could have 1. I don't think there's any quota of assignments.
Okay.
Let's discuss briefly the Chamber of Commerce appointment. Councilmember Thomas, you were the alternate previously to.
I don't think I was.
You weren't. Would you be willing to accept that assignment with Councilmember Landis as your alternate? Or would you maybe reverse that if you would prefer?
Since I'm already on Main Street, there's a nice overlap, I think, between those two. That makes sense. I will accept the assignment.
Councilmember Landis, is that a reasonable position?
Chamber of Commerce and Main Street are both interesting to me. Things
Okay.
related to economic development are very interesting.
That's great. And, yes, so
Alternate?
Thomas and Landis as our representatives to the Chamber of Commerce. City Selection Committee, this I think is most related to whether or not we get a seat on LAFCO. Hopefully, the meeting is yet to happen. I think it happens very rarely, but I would serve on that as the mayor, and hopefully we will get an assignment on LAFCO, a seat on LAFCO. Are there any objections to that? Moving on to County Council, the City Council and County Supervisor Committee, where issues, particularly sales tax, are being discussed. I have suggested that Council members Crane and Roden be on that committee. Any problems with that? Is that okay?
Yes, it's absolutely fine.
Councilmember Crane has disappeared. We're going to make an assumption that he's willing to do that.
I think he said yes when we went through this before.
Investment Oversight Committee. Currently, it's Councilmember Thomas. Is that
It's fine.
worth?
It meets, what, once a year, I think. I learned something, but I don't do much.
Okay. Councilmember Crane, you were, without objection, we wanted you to continue on the committee that meets with the 2 county supervisors to discuss sales tax issues and annexation issues. Is that okay?
Sure.
Library Advisory Board, Councilmember Thomas, you said that you appreciated that position.
And then some.
Mary Ann, would you back him up as his alternate on that
Happily,
committee?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Main Street, I suggest that the same people involved with the Chamber of Commerce work with Main Street. Does that make sense? Who would be the alternate and who would be the regular member? Is that critical to either of you?
But you can also both go anytime together, and often we were there together, and
Yeah,
John and I were there together.
On the current letterhead, we're both listed as appointed members, Mari and I.
Are there any issues with Councilmember Landis and Thomas serving as our liaison to Main Street? Nope?
No, that's good.
Moving on. Another thing I'd like to point out, on any of these boards, let me know if I'm wrong here, that on any of these boards where actual budgetary decisions are made that would have any effect on the city, that our commission representatives serve as delegates from the council and get direction from the council before any major issue that would affect city policy or city budgets.
Why did you mention that right now?
Well, because I believe MCOG is one of those commissions where
Yes.
decisions are made and that maybe delegated authority should be given to what other representative we have before they go to vote. And I suggest that Mari Roden and Councilmember Thomas serve as her alternate on MCOG, the regional planning body. Any discussion or problems with that?
No.
Again, I think that fits in well with Mari's new role with the League of California Cities. I currently serve on the Inland Water and Power Commission and have for my entire tenure on the council. And I think it's important that I serve on one of these darn commissions.
Even though there's no quota.
On the other hand, if a council member really wanted to take that position, I would relinquish it. But otherwise, I would continue with Councilmember Thomas as my alternate. Mendocino Solid Waste Management Authority. Doug, are you willing to continue with that? Councilmember Landis, would you serve as his alternate?
Yes.
The MTA, any comment on that? I think the representative should be required to ride the bus 4 times a year.
Whoops.
And I'm sure Councilmember Thomas will be doing that. Any suggestions, any comments about Councilmember Thomas and Mary Ann Landis serving on the MTA board?
No.
No? Let's move on.
Can I go back and clarify? The alternate is not expected to be in attendance at all meetings, but certainly welcome to be there. The point at which they want somebody to sit in the chair representing the city is when the alternate steps up, is my understanding.
I might like to come to some of the meetings initially, find out what's happening, and then become the alternate. I mean, then function as the alternate more, so that I know what some of the issues are if I'm called on. So initially, I might like to go with you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Moving on,
Carpool.
Okay.
NCPA, Councilmember Crane, you've gained a great deal of expertise. Are you willing to continue as our representative with
Yes.
NCPA?
Yes.
And Councilmember Thomas, you've gained expertise as well?
Less, but some.
Okay. What does TANK stand for again?
The transmission agency that
And that fits well with the other.
related to NCPA.
That fits well with the same assignment.
The NC stands for Northern California, just.
Okay. I added RRWC here to RRWA, Russian River Watershed Association and Russian River Watershed Council. At the Inland Water and Power Commission, there is not a lot of respect for the Russian River Watershed Council. However, they may still be dealing with access to funds up to several $1 million. They're working on protecting the watershed, basically. Nobody from this council has been attending those meetings. Nobody from the Inland Water and Power Commission has been attending those meetings. But they may have access to still some funds to protect the watershed. And I don't know that we officially want to appoint a representative, but maybe whoever's the association representative could also attend to several council meetings. I think they meet in Cloverdale.
How often?
Well, the council had previously met in Cloverdale.
Sorry, I could
The
only speak to the
association,
association.
you were our previous representative.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't know anything about the council, so, but it would be perfectly appropriate for 2 people to go to the Russian River Watershed Association meetings in Windsor. I went with Candace maybe twice, and then I was going by myself, but it's very helpful to have 2 people go. So it could be that, that Marianne and I share that we go together, and as often as we can. If not, one goes, but it's a good thing.
Have a lunch together.
Well, I was thinking Healdsburg.
Okay.